we have huge OG Anunoby injury news, and I'm here to break it all down, all that and much more on the Knicks Digest. What's up, guys? It's your boy Dariel from Knicks Digest, and let's get right into today's video because 2 hours ago, Woj put out this tweet. Knicks forward OG Anunoby has been upgraded to questionable and is likely to go through shoot-around ahead of Game 7 versus Indiana on Sunday to determine whether it will be possible for him to return to lineup. He's been out since Game 2. Now, that's kind of huge news because if you've been following the Knicks and Indiana Pacers series, you know that OG strained his hamstring. I think it was in Game 2, and the series has been back and forth. If we had all of our healthy players, OG, Julius Randle, Mitchell Robinson, Bogdanovich, even Brunson. Even though he's playing, you could tell that Brunson's hobbled. This wouldn't even be a series. And on top of that, I didn't even add Josh Hart. Josh Hart in last night's Game 6 loss in Indiana, he strained his abdominal muscle. And now Josh Hart is another one that's going to be gimpy, and he's going to be running up and down, not being his full self. If OG Anunoby can come into tomorrow's Game 7, but the thing is that, man, I'm just thinking about it right now, is that he's not, I feel like he's going to come back into the game, and then if anything, he might pull that hamstring again. But golly, man, if OG Anunoby can come and just give Jalen Brunson some sort of boost, because if Josh Hart doesn't play and OG Anunoby replaces him, that'll be so clutch. That'll be the best thing. That'll be the best news that we can hear with Josh Hart being out. And the last time OG Anunoby played, which was in Game 2, he dropped 28 points, 10 of 19 from the field, 4 of 7 from three-point land, 4 of 6 of his free throws, dishing out 3 assists and 4 rebounds. The intangibles that OG Anunoby is able to bring to the court whenever he plays, it's chef's kiss. Like, he is one of, if not the best perimeter defender in the league. He is the person that we put on the opposing team's best offensive player. And then on top of that, he can add he can add 28 points. So he's going to be exerting all that energy trying to stop the best offensive player on the opposing team. But then on top of that, he can turn around and drop 28 points, 10 of 19 from the field. Like, I don't know, man. I saw that tweet from Woj, and I was super surprised. I was not expecting OG to come back at all. But Game 7 is going to be in the Garden, and OG, I guess, he's really going to try and push through. And seeing how Josh Hart's injury is impacting the team, I think I have a feeling that OG is going to play, man. And if OG plays and if Josh Hart plays, both of them together, I feel like Josh Hart, he's going to try and just like will himself to play, because it doesn't get any bigger than this. Game 7 in the Garden to move on to the Eastern Conference Finals when it's the first time where we would be in the Eastern Conference Finals since the 1999-2000 season. Let me repeat that. The 1999-2000 season. How many years ago is that? The Knicks franchise, we have been an embarrassment up until Carmelo Anthony had one good season with the Knicks. And yeah, you could put half of the blame on Phil Jackson, the other half on Melo, in my opinion. Jalen Brunson and the rest of the Villanova crew, they came in last season, got us past the first round, lost in the second round. This time we're in a Game 7 in the second round, and we could be going to the Eastern Conference Finals. I feel like OG Anunoby and Josh Hart, if he plays, I feel like they understand what the stakes are. And for such a miserable fan base that we have been, for not seeing any type of glory, not seeing any type of positivity, not seeing any type of going deep into the playoffs, this would be huge if OG can come back for Game 7. Now, if OG Anunoby actually does play, talking about this from the Indiana Pacers side, first of all, I don't know if they have any killers on their team. And when I say killers, I'm talking about just looking to rip your hearts out. Because if I was Tyrese Halliburton, if I was Andrew Nesmith, if I was Miles Turner, I would be testing out OG Anunoby's hamstring left and right. I'll be putting him in all the pick and rolls possible. I'd be trying to push the pace. If OG is going to be guarding me, I'm going straight at him. I'm making him use all of his muscles. I'm making him foul me. And I'm looking to see how he is physically, because honestly, like I said earlier in the video, I don't think he's going to be close to 100%. He might not even be close to like 70%. He might be out there playing on a 50% hamstring, 60%, and he might pull it again. But the only way that the Indiana Pacers are going to know how healthy he is that they need to attack him. So that's from the Indiana Pacers side. From the Knicks side, I'm just looking for OG to come out to the court and just give us something. Just give us anything. Just by you being on the court is probably going to be enough in itself. The Knicks crowd, we're known if not the best crowds in the NBA, knowing all this basketball knowledge. And if the crowd sees OG going out into the court and playing, we're going to be rooting for him. We're going to be cheering for him. We're going to be going crazy because we know that OG Anunoby is literally putting his body on the line, as well as Josh Hart. If Josh Hart and OG Anunoby play tomorrow, the crowd's going to be going crazy, and that energy boost that the Knicks will receive from the crowd is like no other. The Indiana Pacers, in my opinion, I don't think they're killers, and I don't think they're going to be able to go into Game 7 in the Garden with the crowd going crazy and able to leave with a W. Now, I hate to be someone who's looking ahead and not dealing with what's in the present, but if we're able to win Game 7 and we're going to go up against Boston, first, the Game 1 in the Eastern Conference Finals, I believe, is Tuesday. So tomorrow, Game 7 is a 3:30 game Eastern time. So, I mean, there's not a lot of a turnaround time, but man, that Boston team, man. But the thing with Boston is that they're not mentally tough, man. Again, Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, they've been to the Eastern Conference Finals 6 out of the last 8 times with 1 finals appearance, with no championships. And I don't know. I don't know. I think that the Knicks, even as depleted as we are, I still think the Knicks can give them somewhat of a battle. If I'm being realist, if I'm talking to you guys with my head, I'll say the Knicks, I'm sorry, I would say the Boston Celtics in 5. If I'm talking about it with my heart, I would say the Knicks in 7. I hate having to bring up this point again, but it's just a shame that we don't have our players, man. Mitch, Julius, OG, a healthy Josh Hart, a healthy Brunson, Bogdanovich, man. If all of our players were healthy, easily Eastern Conference Finals, and we would probably be able to push Boston to the limit. Because again, I don't think Boston mentally is strong enough. I don't think they're killers as well. Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, that tandem is like, they have all the talent in the world between them two, and they finally figured out how to play with each other. But I just don't think that they have that extra step that you need to take in order to become NBA champions. I mean, this season we might see, they might prove me wrong. But if the Knicks were all healthy, man, that definitely would have been a 6 or 7 game series. But again, we can't talk about hypotheticals. We got to talk about what's in the present. And what's in the present and what's in reality is that we have Game 7 tomorrow night in the Garden. And with this news of OG Anunoby maybe playing, that might be just a huge energy booster that the Knicks fans, that the Knicks organization, that they needed in order to just get over the hump. OG, if you're able to play and give us any sort of minutes, any sort of energy, it'll be more than enough. And Josh Hart, even though all the reports are saying that the abdominal strain and it usually takes about 2 to 3 weeks to heal, I think Josh Hart is going to play. I think he's going to will himself to play. And yo, the crowd, if you guys are watching this video and you're going to be going to Game 7, we need you to be as loud as possible. Go crazy with all the chants. Try and get into Tyrese Halliburton's head, because Tyrese Halliburton, as far as his roller coaster of a series going up and down, just being available and just like seeing how he's playing. He's aggressive in one game, he's not aggressive in another game. He shows up, he doesn't show up. Like, I don't know what to expect from Tyrese Halliburton. But like I said earlier, I don't think the Indiana Pacers are killers. I don't think they can go into the Garden in a Game 7 to move on to the Eastern Conference Finals. And on top of that, man, we deserve to go to the Eastern Conference Finals. We had the grittier team. We had the more physical team. We just had the players. We had the intensity. We just deserved it a lot more. It's just the injury bug just absolutely killed us. And the Indiana Pacers, yeah, they're a young and talented team, but they're going to have a lot more time. Tyrese Halliburton is what, like 22, 23 years old? Miles Turner, I think he's like in the middle of his prime right now. But Nesmith, Andrew Nembhard, Benedict Mathurin, who's out with a shoulder injury, I believe, for the whole season. They're young. They have a nice nucleus and a young core. They're going to have plenty of seasons. This season belongs to us. We're going to win Game 7. I'm not going to be on here guaranteeing like Charles, but I have a strong feeling that Jalen Brunson is going to go God mode, baby. But until next time, you guys know the drill. You know the vibes. Taj Gibson for president. Jalen Brunson for all the MVPs. The deuce is loose. And I'll check you out in the next video. Game 7, let's go Knicks, baby. Let's get it.